My whole family are short drama actors. When the apocalypse hit, my whole family awakened powers, randomly becoming characters played before. My dad became a domineering CEO male lead. The moment a zombie pushed open our front door, my dad slammed it against the wall and said, "Zombie, you're playing with fire." My sister became the vicious second female lead, right in front of the zombie. She suddenly threw herself backward, tumbling down the stairs, and even shouted, "Zombie, why did you push me?" My mom became the female lead, cornered by the zombie, and just going, sob, sob, sob. Don't look at me like that. Tragic romance heroines are all born without mouths. No way around it. In the end, the whole family looked at me, the only one who was 7 years old. Well, all I ever play are genius baby roles. My whole family are short drama actors with decent looks and exaggerated acting. We got by every day, just eating and waiting to die. Then the day the apocalypse arrived, my whole family awakened powers, become one of the characters you've played before at random every day. My dad looked at the explanation on the virtual screen in front of him, then at the front door that was about to be torn open by a zombie, and instantly drew one of his roles. Don't be scared. I always play the male lead. The next second, my dad's whole presence changed. At the same moment, the zombie burst through the door. My dad slammed a hand beside the zombie and gave it a wickedly charming smile. "Zombie, you're playing with fire." The whole family exchanged looks. I could see the embarrassment in my dad's eyes. Well, I just remembered, all the male leads I play are domineering CEOs. Don't panic. Try again. Before my dad could finish, he hurriedly jumped back, barely dodging the zombie's bite. The sky's turning cold. The corpse family should go bankrupt. The way my dad said, it was overbearing as hell and greasy as hell. Unfortunately, the zombie across from him didn't find it embarrassing. How about I do it? My mom saw things were going badly and hurried to speak. "No, Auntie, let me. I only play vicious second female leads. My combat power should be higher." As my sister said that, she tapped the virtual screen in front of her and randomly drew a roll. During that opening, the zombie charged in. Our whole family hurried upstairs, and my dad even remembered to sling my sister over his shoulder and run up while she was stuck in the motionless character switch state. "Dad, didn't expect you to be this strong." I stared at him in disbelief. My mom rolled her eyes. "Don't listen to him. Brag. He uses props whenever he carries actresses." My dad was about to say something, but then my sister finished her character transformation. She grabbed the zombie's hand as it chased after us, and the next second, she threw herself backward and gracefully rolled down the stairs. "Zombie, why did you push me?" my sister accused it through tears. The zombie answered her with drool. Now, my sister felt awkward too. "Sorry, my acting range is narrow. Usually I only use this kind of trash move to frame the heroine." That made sense to me, but the problem was that we were hiding from zombies right now, not filming a short drama. Looks like it's still up to me. The female lead. My mom stepped forward and stood in front of us, operating the virtual screen. "See, this family falls apart without me." Sometimes I'd sneak over to the neighboring production crews and watch those godly and demonic female leads wave a hand and have 10,000 people bow to them. I waited with huge expectations for my mom to unleash her power. Instead, I watched her get cornered by the zombie and just go sob, sob, sob. That's it. My mom looked at us with a miserable face. "We're screwed." I forgot. I only ever play tragic romance heroines. Don't look at me like that. Tragic romance heroines are all born without mouths. My mom kept sobbing at the zombie, then turned around and cursed at my dad. "You piece of trash. What are you still standing there for? Use that table next to you to block the zombie for me." Since the apocalypse had only just started, the zombie on the scene was moving really slowly. My dad was a grown man. He might not have been unable to block it, and yet my dad was roaring from the side. A domineering CEO. A domineering CEO. Moving tables doesn't fit my character setup. I can't do it. My sister struggled to climb off the floor, holding her waist, trying hard to go down and chase the zombie, but she was even slower than the zombie. Now the whole family was looking at me. "Little bro, you're the only hope of the entire village." My sister looked at me full of expectation. I sighed. "Dad, Mom, sis, did you forget? Only 7 years old, and the only roles I've ever played are genius baby roles. The last short drama I acted in, I was a genius computer baby who casually broke through someone else's company firewall with a few taps. In the one before that, I was a genius finance baby who just waved a hand and got several $100 million added to the account. And in the one before that, I couldn't think of a single short drama ID done where the genius baby could kill zombies. More importantly, the oldest genius baby role ID ever played was only 6 years old. If I weren't short, tiny, and ridiculously over the top in my acting, I wouldn't have gotten those roles in the first place. So, with no better option, I treated a dead horse like a living horse and drew a role from the virtual screen for myself. Congratulations, you've drawn Genius Computer Baby. Genius Computer Baby. What use is that? I want Genius Zombie Fighting Baby. I couldn't help roaring. The next second, I felt a current flow into my body, and my mind became clearer than ever before. I picked up the slingshot I used to play with and fired at the zombie's back skull. The zombie dropped instantly. My whole family stared at me, dumbfounded. Weren't you Genius Computer Baby? Could it be the system glitched and you're actually Genius Martial Arts Baby? Or Superpower Baby? I rolled my eyes. Have you ever heard of those kinds of baby roles? No. My dad shook his head. But maybe we're just ignorant. My mom thought for a moment and nodded. Short dramas are all insane. Now, it's possible they really exist, and we just didn't know yet. My sister nodded, too. I may be a computer genius, but that doesn't mean I only know computers. This zombie is just a beginner level, most basic zombie. It's not hard to deal with, as long as you find its weak point. It's an easy win. I looked down at the zombie on the ground and started studying it. How do you know it's a first-stage zombie? How do you know its weak point is the back of the skull? Are you really my little brother? I looked at my whole family. Why were they all so stupid? Whatever. They're my family. I can only spoil them. Is that hard? Can't you tell just by looking with your eyes? I sighed deeply, worried about my family's intelligence. Thank God they had me, or this family would have been done for. I directed my sister to make a simple repair to the door first, so we could get through the immediate danger. Why my sister? Because right now I was playing a 5-year-old genius baby, and I didn't have the strength to fix a door. As for my dad, the head of the household, a domineering CEO. Have you ever seen a CEO fix a door himself? CEOs are for tearing doors down. Then I looked at my mom. Sob, 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 sob. Sorry, son, I don't know why, but I don't have any strength in my body at all. All I want to do is go sob, sob. So, in the end, I could only command my sister, the vicious second female lead. But second female leads are also rich young ladies from wealthy families. So, why can they fix doors? I was pretty confused. Maybe the only purpose of the second female lead is to make trouble for the heroine. Everything else just doesn't matter. My sister concluded to let our family live like normal people. I was the only one who applied for character transformations every day. After taking turns being all kinds of genius babies, I came to a conclusion. Zombies also come in all kinds of types. Some are strong but slow to react, like the one that tried to tear down our door 2 days ago. Some are fast but fragile. Then there are, how do you know that? Aren't you Genius Weapons Baby today? My sister looked at me. I glanced at her. Do I need to think about something that simple, no matter what type of baby I am? Still a genius. Also, and these zombies are evolving. Look, I pointed at the zombie by the side of the road. It's been wandering near our house for 3 days already, and today it's moving 0.1 seconds faster than it did yesterday. My dad, mom, and sister all shook their heads together. Don't all these zombies look the same? Therese, a difference. You can actually see its face from that far away. 0.1 seconds. How exactly did you figure that out? I refuse to explain something that simple, right? Then, a vehicle from a base drove downstairs, and a large number of zombies were instantly wiped out. As the apocalypse arrived, the government reacted at top speed and established official bases. Since first-stage zombies were weak, and the government had also stabilized public panic, Society still hadn't fallen completely into chaos. Didn't expect official people to show up this fast. It's actually from Azure Dragon Base. Wonder what's so special about our neighborhood that it drew their attention. Don't tell me they're here to take our whole apartment complex into Azure Dragon Base. Ever since the apocalypse began, the bases had been taking in survivors, one after another, but government power was limited, and the zombie threat still wasn't that severe. So not everyone was actively brought into an official base. No way. Even if they were evacuating civilians, Azure Dragon Base wouldn't be the one doing the pickup. I rolled my eyes. The next second, there was knocking on our battered door. My mom and dad instantly got nervous. My sister tapped open her system, too, ready to switch roles at any moment. Excuse me, is this Lighthouse's household? We're from Azure Dragon Base. My mom and dad instantly went blank. After the apocalypse, the government had established 4 bases: Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. Among them, Azure Dragon Base answered directly to the central authorities. The people inside were either major government officials or scientists. Azure Dragon Base people showing up at our door left my mom and dad's jaws hanging. My sister looked at me thoughtfully. "You." I nodded and went to open the door. "I am the genius baby Lighthouse." I nodded, seriously, like a little grown-up. If ID said that a few days ago, I would have felt a little embarrassed. But as I sank deeper and deeper into the role, I started feeling like none of those titles were even enough to praise my extraordinary intelligence. Under the protection of a whole group of people, our family went downstairs. A few days ago, ID already known that zombies only looked fragile for the moment. Our family of 4. I sighed. A roaring dad, a mom crouching in corners, a self-harming sister, sigh, with just me, a 7-year-old kid. There was no way I could protect that many people. So the day we awakened our powers, I broke through the government's network system and briefly explained our situation. Of course, I also showed off my genius abilities to an appropriate degree. Sure enough, after only a few days, the officials sent someone to pick up our whole family. You're saying your whole family awakened a short drama, character role power. The man in charge was called Captain Zhang, and today, I was weapons genius baby. I sized up the people in front of me and immediately started introducing all their weapons in detail. That one is a QBZ-198 automatic rifle. The top of the gun has a full-length Picatinny rail, and the pistol-style handguard and that one is a pump-action Winchester 1897. The knowledge I was spitting out about guns was stuff ordinary military enthusiasts might know too. But don't forget, I was only 7 years old. What I said next, though, was definitely not something an ordinary person could say. Captain Zhang's expression changed instantly. How do you know all that? There was already a trace of vigilance in Captain Zhang's eyes. I curled my lip disdainfully. Something this simple. One glance is enough. A genius. Did you think everyone was as ordinary as you? Seeing Captain Zhang's expression darken, my sister quickly stepped in to smooth things over. Well, Captain Zhang, my little brother's in character right now. That's just how this role is written. Hess, normally really well-behaved. Captain Zhang looked at my irritating little face and endured his anger. I won't stoop to arguing with a child. Then he looked at my sister. If your whole family's power is turning into short drama characters, then show us too. My sister's face instantly stiffened. My dad looked like he wanted to crawl into a hole. My mom shrank back even more. What is that difficult? Captain Zhang's eyes suddenly sharpened. Or are you lying? Superpowers appearing suddenly after the apocalypse sounded insane to begin with. If I hadn't shown overwhelming ability through the network, our whole family would have long since been treated like lunatics. My sister sighed. No, it's just that I think, for the sake of your mental health, it might be better if we don't demonstrate. Captain Zhang waved a hand. We used to be special forces. What kind of storm haven't we seen? Or are you feeling guilty? My sister and my parents looked completely dead inside. Forget it. They were here to pick us up anyway. This was just probing on the way. Anything else could wait until we got back to the base. Enough. Hurry up and get in the car, Captain Zhang said impatiently. But my dad frowned, open disgust in his eyes. This broken car doesn't even have a partition. Hurry up and bring my Rolls-Royce over. The moment my dad said that ridiculous thing, he slapped a hand over his own mouth. No, that wasn't my own intention. That's just my character setting. Then, right after that, he started roaring, "Where's my Rolls-Royce? Hurry up, or I'll buy out your entire base." Captain Jang frowned at my dad, who was acting like a lunatic, insulting their vehicle 1 second and apologizing the next. Captain Jang turned to look at my sister with a headache. To be fair, had always suspected our whole family didn't really have powers, and while talking with my sister earlier, Shed acted perfectly polite and refined. Who would have known? My sister gave him a haughty fake smile, her eyes full of contempt. Only poor people ride in something like this. Who knows if it's full of bacteria? As soon as she finished speaking, my sister slapped Captain Jang across the face. Captain Jang hadn't been on guard at all. Getting slapped out of nowhere left him completely stunned. Who could have imagined that my sister, who looked so delicate and weak, would dare slap Captain Jang? What are you looking at? A lady like me would never like you. If you keep staring, I'll gouge your eyes out. My sister's whole expression changed instantly. She looked so damn punchable that anyone who saw her would want to beat her up. To be fair, my mom had said more than once that my sister's acting was the best in the family. It was just a shame my sister wasn't as pretty as my mom, or she would have become a female lead long ago. After saying that, my sister forced out a smile uglier than crying. So, this is your power. Captain Jang took half a step back. He really didn't want to get slapped by her again. I could tell at a glance that Captain Jang probably thought all of us were schizophrenic. My sister frantically apologized, then raised a hand again, and Captain Jang instantly backed off another step. In the entire family, only my mom honestly got in the car. Captain Jang let out a breath of relief and was just about to say something to her when my mom went sob, sob, sob. Captain Jang stared blankly at the whole scene. Was he really that scary? Hurry up and get in the car before you attract zombies. I want to, but my character is a domineering CEO. My feet won't move. I can't get into this car. My sister also looked miserable. The vicious second female lead I play is also a rich girl from a wealthy family. My feet won't move either. In the end, my dad and sister had to be physically carried into the car. The car drove toward Azure Dragon Base, but halfway there, it suddenly braked hard. This is bad. A zombie tide is coming. The zombies evolved. Captain Jang immediately led his people out to hold back the zombies, but the incoming horde was fierce, and the people Captain Jang brought quickly started losing ground. You all stay in the car and don't move. My dad went wild. Butler, where's my helicopter? My sister clutched my dad's arm. What do we do? You have to save me. My mom, sob, sob, sob. I jumped straight out of the car, picked up a gun from the ground, and aimed. Stop making trouble. Captain Jang shouted at me, but my aim was dead on. That one's a speed-type zombie. Its weak point is the ear. That one's an intelligence-type zombie. Its weak point is the brain. Under my command, the people from the base managed to avoid casualties for the time being. But for some reason, the zombies today were like they were on stimulants. More and more of them kept pouring in until even my parents were forced out of the car. My sister gritted her teeth. The vicious second female lead. I just studied my role, and what this role loves most is slapping people. Ill help. As she said that, she swung a slap at the zombie closest to my dad. In an instant, the zombie that had been about to bite him got slapped, flying. My sister even said with a face full of disgust, "I've seen zombies like you all the time. My uncle-in-law was only playing around with you. You think just because you come over here, my uncle-in-law will marry you." Everyone froze for a second. A single slap sending a zombie flying. Was that really human-level strength? I rubbed my chin and nodded thoughtfully. Sure enough. In short, dramas, second female leads never hold back when slapping romantic rivals. And every female that gets close to the male lead is the second female lead's love rival. My sister immediately got excited. I knew it. How could my power be that useless? But why am I saying weird stuff like my uncle-in-law wants to marry a zombie? Mrs. Zhao, help. Captain Jang hurriedly shouted. Oh, okay. My sister swung again at a zombie, but this slap landed right on my mom's face. My mom froze. My sister froze too. Watching that, I nodded again. Sure enough, my guess was right. Just as my sister was about to say something, her expression changed again. She pointed at my mom and sneered. A commoner like you actually dares dream of seducing my uncle-in-law. Let me tell you, my uncle-in-law is only playing around with you. After saying that, my sister covered her own face and looked at my dad in a fake green tea voice. Uncle-in-law. I'm so scared. Auntie just tried to hit me. My sister instantly broke down. Oh my God, what am I doing? Uncle-in-law, I don't have improper thoughts about you. I think of you like my own father, my own brother. I don't know why I'm saying all this weird nonsense. I sighed, because right now your role is the vicious second female lead, who's in love with the male lead. My mom is the tragic romance female lead. So naturally, she's your love rival. My dad is the male lead, and that zombie you just slapped away was random female side. Character number, whatever, trying to seduce the male lead. My sister went crazy, so unless a zombie gets close to little uncle-in-law, my slaps will only land on little auntie. We all nodded, and I'll keep pursuing my uncle-in-law. We nodded again. Obviously, what second female lead in a short drama doesn't chase the male lead everywhere? I can't go on living. My sister covered her face. I knew what I was about to say wasn't something she wanted to hear, but I still had to make her face reality. Based on my experience, the more times we use a skill, the deeper we fuse with the character. If you use the power a few more times, There's a good chance you'll lose your own sense of self during the role play. Of course, once the time limit ends and the power is released, well, still go back to normal. Before my sister could even process that reality, she was interrupted by my mom's piercing scream. Everyone had just been so stunned by what happened with my sister that they forgot there were still zombies left. And right as one of them lunged at my mom, crap, too late to save her. Crack. The one that fell was the zombie. The one sobbing in the corner was my mom. That zombie had no idea what happened. Somehow its head crashed into a rock and it died on the spot. Another zombie rushed at my mom with its mouth open. The next second, it slammed into a tree and died. My mom froze there. I didn't do anything. I rubbed my chin and nodded. I get it. Mom's the female lead right now. Female leads can only be abused, not killed off early. Sure enough, any zombie trying to kill my mom would die in some random accident. Instead, my mom instantly perked up. All of you, hide behind me. I've got the female lead halo. Now Captain Jang finally believed our whole family really did have powers. You're hiding in a corner. How are we supposed to hide behind you? Captain Jang said helplessly. My mom made a miserable face. Sob, sob, sob. I want to. But my role is one of those tragic romance female leads who only know how to hide in corners and sob. When danger comes, I can't leave the corner at all. Sob, 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 sob. Captain Jang's face went dark. What kind of freak roles has your whole family been acting? Captain Jang, have you ever watched short dramas? My sister asked while she still had enough clarity. Captain Jang shook his head. Short dramas are completely insane. But little auntie, I remember last time you entered character. You hid in a corner and sobbed too. Right. Not every tragic romance female lead is like that. I remember the more popular trend now is tragic romance female leads who wake up and go full revenge mode. You could have gone on a total killing spree, too. My mom kept going, sob, sob. Every role I've ever played has been this exact style. As long as I just sob, sob, I get paid. Why should I make things hard for myself and step out of my comfort zone? My mom said with complete confidence. Captain Jang's face went black. Aren't you the female lead? How exactly did you even get cast as one? My mom lifted her chin. Because I'm beautiful. My face is high value. Heaven fed me this meal. In the end, my mom got physically carried by two soldiers and put in front of the zombies. Every single zombie that bared its teeth at her ended up dying in one accident or another. My mom had the female lead halo. So naturally, my dad had the male lead halo, too. At first, they wanted to carry my dad over to the zombies too and let him use the male lead halo to kill them. But my sister, the vicious second female lead wouldn't stop clinging to him. Whoever tried to steal the male lead away from her got slapped. But my dad's role was a male lead who absolutely hated the vicious second female lead. And he was oily and annoying by nature, so he ended up actively provoking the zombies himself, shouting weird nonsense like the sky's turning cold, let the corpse family go bankrupt. The whole scene descended into complete chaos. My dad kept yelling about making zombies go bankrupt. My sister chased after him, and the zombies around them either got slapped flying by my sister or killed by my dad's male lead halo. Eventually, Captain Jang just had someone set my mom down and stood there watching my dad and sister take down the entire zombie horde. A zombie tide that should have cost lives got solved by our freak show family. Captain Jang looked at us with absolute admiration by the time we got back to the base. With our whole family using our short drama character drawing powers, not a single more person had died. Our whole family received a warm welcome from the higher-ups at the base. At this point, though, all of us had already returned to normal. We all kept our heads down, so embarrassed it felt like we could dig out an entire 4-bedroom apartment with our toes. One of the leaders who came to receive us was the head of Azure Dragon Base, Director Liu. Director Liu was a busy man, but he was extremely interested in my power. He saw in me a hope for humanity to return to normal. After getting to the base, I drew a new role every day. When I drew Genius Computer, Baby, I helped reinforce the base's electronic defense systems. When I drew Genius Divine Dr. Baby, I led the scientific research team in developing a zombie vaccine. As for my dad and the others, they were forced to draw roles every day too, and then rely on their protagonist halos to go out and kill zombies. Until one morning, after my mom drew her role, she stared blankly ahead and said, "If I die, will he regret it?" My sister's expression changed instantly. Oh, no, this time it's the deadenly tragic family. The deadenly tragic family really means people die. Now, my dad and sister didn't dare draw roles anymore. If they really ended up pulling the male lead and the vicious second female lead, then my mom might actually die. My sister would rather die herself than draw a role now. In other short dramas, the vicious second female lead gets hated by the male lead. But in a deadenly tragic family script, the second female lead has a lot of intimate scenes with the male lead. How am I supposed to face little Auntie and little Uncline-Law after that? My sister and my mom weren't that far apart in age. After my aunt and uncle died, my mom took my sister in. In my sister's heart, my mom was both a close older sister and her mother. On top of that, my sister's power level had been rising the whole time. Now, whenever she activated her ability, she threw herself completely into the role. I nodded, deeply in agreement. It's fine. If anything really happens, I'll just shoot you with a tranquilizer gun. Genius Baby and the vicious second female lead are natural enemies. My sister glared at me. All right, the vaccine experiment data will be out tonight, so I need to hurry back to the lab. Actually, the vaccine had already been successfully developed. It just still needed clinical testing. I hadn't drawn Genius Divine Dr. Baby recently, and somehow no one could understand the experiment data ID left behind, except me. Since my dad and sister finally had some free time and didn't dare get too close to my mom, they followed me to the lab to wait for the results. Director Liu, the head of the base, kept staring at me. Everyone held their breath. Everything would be decided right here. This concerned the fate of all humanity. It was the first time the vaccine had ever been used on humans. These people had each taken 3 injections of the vaccine and were then, unfortunately, bitten by zombies. From past experience, any human bitten by a zombie would mutate within 3 to 8 hours. Now the full 8 hours had passed, and these people still hadn't mutated. The medical staff in white coats drew blood from them. Another hour passed, and then the results came out. Normal. These people are normal. That's great. The vaccine worked. Humanity can finally rebuild civilization. Everyone shouted with excitement. At this point, a full year had passed since the apocalypse began. Zombies had kept evolving, and more humans had ended up hiding in bases, while people were still dying every day. Now, with the vaccine, humanity finally didn't have to fear zombies anymore. But then, everything suddenly changed. A gun was pointed at my head. I looked up at Director Liu. Why? Director, Lou burst into laughter. Kid, you're a genius. But that's a pity. If a genius can't be used by me, then he can only be destroyed. As he said that, Director, Lou snatched the vaccine from my hand and smashed it to the ground. Kid, you're still too naive. You don't even know. Director Lou didn't get to finish before I cut him off. Don't know what? I know this zombie virus was man-made from the beginning. All of this was carefully planned by you. Did you really think everyone was as stupid as you and couldn't understand something this simple? I fired back quickly. Director Lou choked on that, then put on a face like he couldn't be bothered to argue with me. Little brat, aren't you supposed to be a genius? What use is being wise after the fact? Who told you? I only figured out your scheme just now. I gave him a mocking smile. What the hell is going on? House, hurry and tell your dad. You mean Director Lou, the head of Azure Dragon Base, is the biggest final boss, and this whole zombie virus was his doing. My sister reacted quickly. How did you know? Because I'm a genius. I lifted my chin. Director Lou laughed. So, what if you're a genius? I've already destroyed the original solution, and this whole lab is about to burn down. You all. Director Lou's smile turned sinister, and then he pulled the trigger of the handgun, but the imagined headshot never came. There were no bullets in the gun. What happened? Director Lou instantly realized something was wrong. I already told you. I'm a genius. Even if the role I draw each time is different, and the things I'm good at are different, my intelligence still crushes yours. Did you really think I couldn't guess your little tricks? I smiled. Oh, right. What you just smashed wasn't the original vaccine solution for the zombies. The real original solution is in my hands. And as for everything you just did, I pressed a button on a remote. A huge screen appeared inside the lab. On it, a group of people were watching the surveillance feed, and what they were watching was exactly what had just happened in the lab. Director Lou, all your crimes are about to be exposed to the public. Director Lu's face instantly turned ugly. Kid, don't forget, your parents, and your sister are still in my hands. Director Lou glanced at the subordinate nearby. The subordinate pulled his own trigger. The gun still had no bullets. You think just because there are no bullets, you can all walk out of here? Kid, you're too naive. Director Lou looked at the man beside him. That girl isn't bad. She's yours. The man put on a filthy grin and walked toward my sister. I sighed. They really knew nothing about my dad and sister. My dad and sister quickly drew their roles. The next second, my dad's eyes changed. Old Lou, you're playing with fire. My dad grabbed Director Lou from the side, shoved him into a wall, grabbed his waist, and kissed him. Director Lou froze on the spot. Had never imagined that one day he'd get pinned against a wall and kissed by another man. Only when Director Lou was almost out of breath did my dad finally let him go. My dad panted heavily, eyes red. Old Lou, one kiss, and my life is yours. Director Lou finally caught his breath and immediately started puking at the side. What are you all standing around for? Pull this idiot off me. But before the men in black, who'd just come back to their senses, could do anything, my sister's eyes were already burning, like they could spit fire. I knew that was the jealousy fire unique to a second female lead. Slut! How dare you seduce my Uncline-law? My sister raised her hand and started wildly slapping Director Lou across the face. This time, Director Lou had focused all his attention on me. Had assumed my dad, mom, and sister's powers weren't all that useful, so he barely paid them any attention at all. Director Lou was older and a very serious person. He had no idea just how insane short dramas nowadays really were. By now, our family's powers had already leveled up long ago. After drawing a role, we'd throw ourselves entirely into the script and lose our original sense of self. ID already discovered this. When our whole family activated our powers at the same time, we'd automatically form a complete drama. My dad would be responsible for being wickedly overbearing and abusing my mom. My mom would hide in a corner and go sob. My sister would play the second female lead, chasing after my dad while bullying my mom. If I activated my power at the same time too, then I'd help my mom bully my sister. But if our whole family didn't activate at the same time, then whoever we kept staring at when we activated our powers would become a key role in the script. For example, the very first time we activated our abilities, all of us had been looking at the zombie. So, in my dad and sister's eyes, the zombie became the female lead. In my mom's eyes, the zombie had become the male lead. This time, my dad and sister had activated their abilities together. The male lead and the second female lead were already here. The only missing role was the female lead. So, director Lou, whom they had both been staring at, automatically became the female lead in the script. My dad was now going to love director Lou fiercely. My sister was going to slap director Lou fiercely. Director Lou's men also snapped back to their senses at this time. But in the eyes of a second female lead, consumed by jealousy, they became the heroine's accomplices. So those huge men in black got slapped all over the place by my sister. In the logic of tragic romance stories, if you love her, you have to abuse her ruthlessly. And in today's insane dramas, the ways of tormenting the heroine are endless. Digging out organs and tearing out hearts are small stuff. Once my dad was done abusing him, my sister took over. Once my sister was done, my dad took over again. By the time Captain Jang finally rushed in with his people, tears had filled Director Lu's eyes. Guilty. Willing to accept the government's judgment. Please, just take me away. Captain Jang's mouth twitched. Your whole family activated their powers again. That's actually a pretty good power. Director Lu got taken away by Captain Zhang right before he was dragged off. My dad gave him a wickedly arrogant look and said, "Old Lu, beg me." Director Lu's eyes were full of terror. Go. Hurry. Go. My dad tilted Director Lu's chin up. Old Lu, you've successfully caught my attention. Captain Zhang nearly tripped while walking and hurried up to drag Director Lu out. Apparently, when Director Lu got interrogated, he was willing to confess everything. He said he'd researched the zombie virus because he wanted to build a new order. Unfortunately, something had gone wrong during the process. Director Lu confessed every detail about himself and the forces behind him. The only thing he absolutely refused to talk about was what our family had done to him. After my dad woke up, he threw up into the toilet for 3 whole months and kept apologizing to my mom the entire time. My mom, on the other hand, looked full of regret. Why hadn't she been there that day? 3 months later, with the vaccine released, order in the world was finally restored. And yet, our family's powers disappeared too. One day, Captain Zhang knocked on our door again. My sister shyly went to open it. My mom couldn't help shaking her head. Silly girl. Go like someone else. Anyone who saw the crazy way you acted as the second female lead would never feel anything for you. My sister glanced at Captain Zhang and lowered her head. Well, I don't plan on acting in short dramas anymore. No, you need to keep acting. Captain Zhang looked determined. You like short dramas. A flash of surprise appeared in my sister's eyes. Our whole family acted in short dramas for money. Only my sister did it for love. No, Captain Zhang shook his head. Not just you. Your whole family needs to keep acting in short dramas. That's the decision from above. My dad was just walking downstairs. The second he heard the words short dramas, he ran straight toward the bathroom. Captain Zhang looked at him in confusion. Is he that excited? Our whole family smiled awkwardly. That makes sense. It's worth getting excited over. This time, the government is investing in short dramas, and the scripts were custom-made for your family. Things like aerospace, genius baby, ancestor, cultivator, great heroine, urban divine, doctor, male lead. Oh, right, Mrs. Zhao. Your second female lead role is also a genius-type character. This is... My sister couldn't even get her words out properly in front of Captain Zhang. My mom said my sister liked Captain Zhang, but all my sister had ever done was slap Captain Zhang a few times, and then get dragged off by him to go slap zombies. How exactly had she fallen for him? No one knows whether disaster or tomorrow will come first. We need to prepare in advance. If your powers ever come back again, you'll need to contribute more to the government. All right, get ready, hurry, and join the production team. My dad had just finished puking in the bathroom when he heard Captain Zhang's words. He immediately rushed back in to puke again. My mom sighed. Looks like I won't need to cook dinner for your dad again tonight.